Hello, so today doing another video. As you can see by this card already, I'm going to do a nostalgia gaming about Pokemon. I just thought this card was kind of funny because I was like going through this whole thing, this box. It was like preserved in like 2007, like all the stuff in there. And the first thing that pops up is like this card, like this crappy card that I'm going to try to sell. Yeah, if you want to, hit me up. But I don't have any other cards, left to show you. But yeah, so nostalgic gaming for, I guess I could just do Generation 3. I didn't really know about the generations at the time, but that's the kind of generation that, they break them down by generation 1 is like blue, red, and then silver and gold, and then this one, it came out in 2003, 2002 to 2004ish, so somewhere around there. So like this was like the first two that came out, or 2005. So this is the first one that came out as Pokemon Sapphire and Ruby. Ruby was my first one. This one isn't like the original game I had because this freaking battery. They took the battery out, so there's like no timed events, which doesn't matter in Ruby because there really isn't any timed events. But like it was the first introduction I had as a game, and I could not do the game. Like I had to hit my friend up all the time, my childhood friend, because I was like, how do you do this? How do you do this? Like, just never could figure it out. But I eventually got, and I was so good at the game. Like, I had this Mewtwo that was like insane power level. Like, I was just taking everybody out at daycare. So it was pretty fun to do back in the day. So yeah, that was definitely something fun to just kick back and do. And I was pretty good at it. It took me a long time. Probably took me about a year plus to do. There was another game that actually came out for the generation called Pokemon Pinball. I don't have it, but I used to play it all the time. It was just a really, really fun game. And then Pokemon Sapphire, I eventually got, but I wasn't really a big fan of because I didn't really like Kyogre. I was always like a Groudon, fire, earth type. It's kind of like my I'm a Capricorn, so I guess that kind of makes sense. But yeah, Kyogre was pretty cool too. I just didn't like as much. And then Leaf Green, this was the original. I still have this. Like you could kind of hear the battery in there. But this was like this is the last of the original games I bought, and I bought this when I was like 11 years old, and it's just awesome, man. Like Leaf Green is just an awesome game. I mean, the music's probably a little bit better than Ruby and Sapphire. But then Emerald came out in 2005, a year after this one, and it's really, really good too. And it's probably, just an unpopular opinion, but it's my favorite generation from Pokemon. It's a very nostalgic game. If you just open it up and play, just for the hell of it, it's fun. It's like, whatever, you're not a freak because you play the game. I don't really still follow Pokemon, so I just kind of play it just because I want to. But Fire Red was actually the first one I got. I don't have it anymore. I lost it. Fire Red is a really, really good game. I had like Charizard, and yet again, I was like a big fire and electric. I'm a big fire and electric type guy. And I barely beat the Gary at the final thing. Gary's probably a better. It's funny because Gary's like in Generation 3, like he sucked. Like he's so powerful, especially the second time you fight him. And compared to in Sapphire and stuff, like you have Steven, and he's pretty strong, and in Emerald you have like the weakest Elite Four champion, and I think Wally or whatever his name is, he's like super weak. Um, I think you could just take him out. I took him out with a minimum, so I mean that's. But yeah, it's just a really fun game to just play. If it's the definition of nostalgic. You know what I mean? Like, for me, anyways, like really one of the first video games I ever really got into, and then the other one that we made, Donkey Kong. So yeah, we probably starting to do these a little bit more. Yeah, so till the next one, I think it'll be like we'll continue with the Game Boy games. I think maybe the DS because I think I'm already out of Game Boy games because I don't have a lot left. But yeah, until next time, peace.